Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Jay Will. So I put up a thing on Instagram about each of these phones right here not being able to work wide, and that was just kind of a joke. We all know that the BlackBerry Passport is the work wide slogan type deal. But let's get into a full comparison of the basic battle against the LG G3, which is a super powerhouse device, against the BlackBerry Passport. Let's see how it holds up. Alright guys, we are back in another video, and this time it is the LG G3 and the BlackBerry Passport going head to head. There's clearly has to be a winner here, and I'm going to be as objective as possible and as non-biased as possible as I can, because that's what I do. So let's get into the meat of this first. Let's go over the techie stuff, and then we'll get into the real world tests, or not so much tests, but the real world things about the device and how we use them. All right, so first and foremost, this was announced in May, came out in June, and this was announced in June and came out in September of 2014, both of these. So before I get into the little battle here, I'm going to tell you about both devices. The screen on this LG G3 is a 5.5-inch Quad HD display, one of the highest pixel counts on the market. It comes in at 1440 by 2560. That is a big screen ratio right there, 75%. Pixel count for the techies is 538 pixels per inch. So what about the BlackBerry Passport? Well, the BlackBerry Passport comes in at 4.5 inches, a square display, and it has a pixel count of 453, coming in at 1440 by 1440, which is very impressive for this device. This is an IPS display, LCD display, and this is a true IPS LCD display. I don't know the difference, but they both look great. Both of these have Corning Gorilla Glass 3. They're running completely different operating systems, and we'll get into that in a little bit here. This is running BlackBerry 10.3.1, and this is running Android 4.4.2. This should be getting an update, and this should be getting an update pretty soon, hopefully. Processors in these guys, they both have the Snapdragon 801, and this is clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, and this is clocked at 2.26 gigahertz, and they're both running the Crate 400. They both have the Adreno 330. They both take an SD card up to 128 gigs. This is a 32 gigs on board with 3 gigs of RAM, and this is 32 gigs on board with 3 gigs of RAM. Nice. And what else? They both have 13 megapixel cameras on the back, but this has laser focus. This is by far one of the best cameras I've ever used on a cell phone. It is. I'm not saying it's the best, but it is one of the top, and it is really, really nice, that rear camera. And this is a 13 megapixel camera as well, but it doesn't have the laser focus. It does have optical image stabilization. It has some really good stuff on there. Both great cameras. They both have front-facing cameras. This has a 2 megapixel and this has a 2.1. This one actually shoots in 1080p though, and this one shoots in 720p. End result is they both have great quality. This one has Dolby sound, but this one has dual bottom firing speakers here, so really, really good. Stereo speakers. Let me unlock this one here. And what else can I tell you about the techie stuff? 3000 milliamp battery, 3450 milliamp battery. And I think that's all I want to talk about as far as what it says on paper, because we all know that doesn't really mean much at all. So what do we think? Let's start with the challenger, I guess I'll say, which is the BlackBerry Passport. The BlackBerry Passport has a 4.5-inch square display. This is the first of its kind. Just like the Galaxy Note line, it was the first of their kind with that 5.3-inch display. But look at how far we've come. The BlackBerry Passport is unique in its own, with the device being square, and the screen obviously has to be square. It is very, very nice. A very sharp display. The pixel count is 453 pixels, and that doesn't really mean much, but the fact is it has a really nice, sharp, crisp display. Has a nice display. Now, the LG G3 on the other hand has a very sharp, crisp 5.5 inch display. This is a very compact device, as you can see, but it has a 5.5 inch display this way, and it is very, 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 very sharp, very crisp, very clear. And you just can't go wrong with that. It is a QHD display. And what is this display like? This is 1440 by 1440. Is it just a 1080p display? You know, it has a higher resolution because it's square. But somebody shout out in the comments. What is the actual title for this this resolution? Is it 1080p? Is it 1080p plus? You know, it's always something going on out there where they're adding little things in there to try to make it seem like it's something it's not. But let's get into body. So I'm gonna have to snap off these cases that these guys are in. Windows are open, guys. If you hear buses and stuff like that upstairs in the back here, and you know how it is. I keep my windows open, get fresh air in when it's beautiful outside. Alright, so both cases off, and I'll leave those off for the rest of the video. I won't bother putting them back on. Both cases off. Body, back to the BlackBerry Passport. The body on the BlackBerry Passport is unique in its own, again, because this is a square device. It's different, and it's not that it's square, but it has unique build quality to it. It's made of metal around here, and the inside, it's got a metal chassis, a metal beam that runs through the middle, BlackBerry says. And I know it's like that on the OG version, but the AT&T version, I haven't really done a lot of research on it. And that's about where it stopped. But the body on here, you've got the dual speakers on the bottom. You got this soft touch matte feeling on the back. This actually snaps off, and this is where you'll insert your SD card and SIM card. Along the edges, though, around the entire device, runs a metal band. Now, some of this is probably plastic again, like I said, but I don't know for sure because I haven't done much research on the AT&T variant, but I know the LG version is a metal chassis that runs through. So the body on here is very unique in its own. It's an eclectic design, I should say. It's still very easy to hold, even though it has a square design and it's kind of wide, but there's a reason for that. So I think that was the UPS guy dropping off a package downstairs, but I won't go get it. So on to the G3. Now this is comfort. It's obviously rounded because it takes on the design element of quote unquote a regular smartphone design. But who wants to be regular, right? Nonetheless, the G3 is beautiful. It has a nice sleek design. Again, you get a 5.5 inch display, and what more could you ask for in a device? It's compact with a 5.5 inch display. The body, though, which makes this one different from a lot of cell phones, is because everything's housed on the back. The camera, the power, the volume, everything's back there. Speakers back there too, though, but unlike this one, you've got volume rocker, you got a dedicated key there for the assistant, and then a power buttons up top, and headphone jack up top, and speaking things on the bottom. But with the G3, pretty much everything is on the back. And they get away with this. There's nothing on the side, which is why they can have more screen real estate. There's nothing on the side, just the bottom with the headphone jack and the charging port, and IR blaster up top. I like that IR blaster. So I'm going to go ahead and rate these as I go. And I didn't rate the body of the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. I'll go back to it. The screen, I give it to the edge to the LG G3. The G3 is not because it has a higher pixel count. It is just a beautiful display. And I think it shines out a lot better than when compared next to the BlackBerry Passport. So if you're keeping track, you can keep track. I gave the screen to the G3. Now back to the body. I'm also going to give this to the G3 because the G3 is, when I think about people, I think about end users and regular people just like me and you who would buy a product. Now I have big hands, and we both know that I use this as my daily phone. and I use this one second with an iPhone. But this is my main phone. Like, this is, everything is with me on that one. But being realistic, everybody is not going to like a wide design like that. And if a person has small hands, they're not going to like it. They won't even, they'll look at this and say, oh no, that's too much for me. No, it's too wide. So again, body, gonna have to give it to the G3 because I'm thinking about the average regular person user, non-techie, and overall there are more of those than there are techies out there. So once again, G3 is going to take the body. Now I'm going to hop over to sound, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull up, I'll do it in the web browser, and I'll pull up my YouTube page, and I'll do the same test that I always do because it's so hard to get things posted here on YouTube lately, man. It's tough because they are not playing around. They do not want you to copyright stuff, and I can't disagree with them. So I'm going to pause that real quick, and I'm going here, and then I'm going to get YouTube going on here with my channel as well. And I'm going to crank both of these up. So first, the G3. Let's get it playing here. Now keep in mind the G3 speaker is on the back, right there. All right, so that's the G3. Now let's play it on the Passport. So what you can't hear probably, unless you have good speakers, I have a great sound system on my computer, and what you can't hear in the video if you don't have the best sound system or you're listening to it on a certain device that doesn't have a good speaker, the Passport has tons of, it produces the basses a lot better. And the fact that it has dual bottom firing speakers, that's kind of a, you know, even if it didn't have the quality and sound that it has, I think it might, I don't know, it might probably still sound better than the G3 because the G3 speaker is flat on this back there, and it can be covered easily with your hand. So, but other than that though, even though that's the case, but still the BlackBerry Passport speakers are great. I mean, you can hear the bass in there, and you heard how it sounded at the end when the voice comes on both of these. The BlackBerry Passport is clearly the winner here with the sound quality test. So this is kind of a, you know, I have to do it though, but winner goes to the BlackBerry Passport. All right, now an area where some people will really disagree, and they'll say, oh no, you're just being whatever case may be. This is how I feel about it, and this is what I think is real. Cameras on both of these are great. They're both 13 megapixel cameras. But let's grab a picture, get the good old colorful Carmex out right here. I'm going to take a picture right now on both, and we'll see how it does. All right. And then we're going to load the camera up here. All right, we'll load it up here. All right, so taking a look at these. First, I'm just gonna, you can just look at them. All right, now let me tell you what I see. I see a super clear, sharp image on the G3. The G3's image is so detailed, and I don't know how well this comes off on camera. I'll see it after I upload, but Right now, I'm telling you, the G3 is one of the best cameras you can possibly have. Look at it around the Carmex, the dark, the shadow type deal, and the lettering, how crisp it is, right? Pause. Now look at how it seems a little fuzzy on the BlackBerry Passport. So, without doing long drawn out tests, the Passport's camera is phenomenal, but I don't think it can outdo, and I've done other tests with videos and everything. This shoots in 4K also, and this highest this does is 1080p at 60 frames per second. But that 1080p at 60 frames per second, you can tell the difference only a little bit by the G3. But also, I want to say this. I want to just give the win to the G3. Here are the settings for the G3, and they're simple. You know, you get to just select what you want, and it's a very simple interface, and it's really nice. Now, as for the Passport, once again, it too is simple. You just can't beat a simple set of instructions like that when you're trying to take a picture. But I will say that overall, though, my experience with both of these, they're both phenomenal, both great cameras, but the G3 definitely wins that round. Hands down. I would be totally being biased towards BlackBerry if I gave that round to the BlackBerry. That doesn't mean that the Passport's camera is not good. It just means that up against the G3, it's going to take a hit on that one. So that win goes to the G3. All right. Now, how about web browsing? Let's go back to web browser. So I'm going to pull up the same website, and let's go to, where am I going, guys? You already know. Let's go here, and let's go here. God, I love having a full keyboard. Let's see how these look. How do these look? I'm gonna stand up and look behind the camera and see how they look. Oh yeah, that looks great. And you see how this is actually a QHD display? I could turn off the auto bright, but and you see it gets a little bit brighter, but auto bright is turned on here. But nonetheless, look at how much and how these web pages display. I wish Android, and I know there's probably some second browser out there that I can use with Android to bring the bar down here, but I love having the bar down here. And just looking at these web pages, you can see how they render and what they're rendering in front of you. So obviously in the BlackBerry Passport, you're going to get a wider view because that's their slogan, work wide. And you get some extra stuff over here. Look, you get the entire thing. And this is just how it renders. There's no more zooming out. This one here formats it for mobile. And, well, actually, I'm lying. Oh, wait. Phone Arena has a mobile website. Hold on, I don't want the mobile. Wow, when did they upgrade? View desktop. Get out. So let me see if this, oh, that's what it is. Okay, real talk here. No editing. You know I always yell that out. No editing. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. All right, people. Phone Arena, what are you doing? I test with you guys. I haven't been there in a long time. You guys put up a mobile website. Oh, man. But with these devices, I want desktop mode. And here we go. So obviously you can see more on the screen here, but you can see it's actually kind of squished in. The BlackBerry Passport, you don't have to do as much zooming. You're getting in here, you're getting in here. Which one do you prefer? How would you want to surf the web? And ever since owning the other BlackBerry Passports and then owning this one, the same thing, just different look. Web browsing on this square display is really, really nice. I don't know of any other way to say it. The web browsing kit also that's used in both of these, which, you know, you don't need to get technical. Just looking at these, you have more in this view here. But I like how this renders this page on the Passport. I've just become accustomed to working and seeing everything in this view. It feels weird to even scroll through a web page looking at it like this. This may feel a little bit more comfortable because you're used to it, but I can guarantee you once you get into a web page this way, it just feels a lot better. So no long extended things on the web browser. I think the BlackBerry Passport is a better web browsing experience. It's my opinion. What's yours? These are pretty much being powered by the same thing. And as far as performance goes, this to me boils down to how your operating system is optimized. And I'm not going to lie, hands down, Android has some of the best applications. It has everything. It is loaded. But fortunately, Android, even on a high-powered device like this, there still can be a little lag, and that's unfortunate. The way that the BlackBerry Passport's BlackBerry 10 is optimized, it's not messing with it. I think the BlackBerry Passport, the way this is set up, the processing power, these pretty much have the same thing, but this runs a lot smoother. I haven't had a crash on the BlackBerry Passport ever. And I don't think I probably will ever get a crash on BlackBerry Passport. This thing has yet to fail me, and I have to reboot my Android phone sometimes. Even my iPhone sometimes I have to reboot it because it'll freeze and RAM will get full. But you know, this is just a great, I don't need to go into it, but I was going to go into the system files, but this is a great setup here. BlackBerry 10, the way it's using this processor, and these are pretty much the same package, it's put together better on the BlackBerry Passport. So behind the scenes footage, so to speak, BlackBerry Passport is winning by a long shot. BlackBerry 10 runs a lot smoother than Android on a bad day. And so you guys can argue that all you want in the comments. I'm not biased towards BlackBerry. I think Windows Phone and iOS run better than Android. There, I said it. I've said it plenty of times. But for this video, BlackBerry 10 is blowing Android out of the water as far as background performance. It just happens that way. And this can run Android apps. Again, I'm not going to stray away and go too far into it, but that one goes to, as far as processing power, the way it handles the operating systems, because they're running pretty much the same package, I give it to the BlackBerry Passport. Call quality. This is good on both. This is AT&T, this is T-Mobile. They're both fine. I'll just call that one a draw or tie. Now, there are a lot of features on the G3, but this is their main feature. This is probably the one that could be considered the most useful. It has dual window, and you can pretty much work in one, and I can be in this one, and I can scroll through this web page, or I can come up here and go to my uploads, or I can go to my web page, whatever. I can do two different things at once, which is a neat feature. It's got IR blaster, so I've got it set to control the TV downstairs, and I can also set it to control several other TVs, DVDs, VCRs. You can set it up, it's really nice. And the reason I'm not going too deep into this is because, you know, Android is pretty much universal in a lot of these things, but these are just the extra things that LG added in. You've got your fitness count on the left here. You can actually turn that off too. But you know, I really can't think of anything else that I think that stands out on the G3. It's Android. It's got a quick memo. You got quick memo. I don't know. That's pretty much it that actually stands out on the device. There's not a lot about some skins. Samsung is the operating system that's winning when it comes to skins. But for the BlackBerry Passport, you've got what's called the hub. And boy, do you see that? All these notifications here, ready in one spot. I don't know of any other way to say it. It is just, they both have the drop downs here, but you can customize this one a lot better. I think I like the way this is set up better too. Having it scroll this way to get to certain things, you know, I like it to where I can actually rearrange these. You can rearrange both, but this one is straight to the point. You can get to it quickly. So features, the BlackBerry Hub alone is one of the best things that could ever be offered on any smartphone. So the way this is set up, you just can't go wrong with BBM and all these other things. And you can even put BBM on the Android phone. I have it on there, right in there when I'm carrying this phone only. But overall package, BlackBerry 10. The hub is just amazing. And I know it's going to be people say, oh, you didn't even go into this. Well, you know what? Put up your video so I can watch it, so you can spend 50 minutes or so trying to explain why you think something is better. Point is, the package, the overall package on the BlackBerry is better. You can quote unquote work wide on their docks on here. I don't want to open up the docks, but everything shows wider and a bigger display. You have to turn this phone this way in order to work, and you have to turn this phone, you don't. So again, hub, everything. I just think the BlackBerry Passport has the better setup right now. The last thing I want to talk about is the battery. Now, I would call this one a tie, but you know, the BlackBerry Passport beats it out by just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit. It has a bigger battery, and I'm not just saying it because it has a bigger battery. I'm saying that because it actually lasts longer with heavier use. With Android, I know things run in the background a lot more on Android, so that's probably why it has such bad battery life sometimes. But this phone has fantastic battery life. I can easily go a couple of days with this one, and I can easily go a few days with this one. So it only beats it out just by a little bit. This charges really fast too, and this one charges fast. I actually put both of these on the charger earlier this morning, and the BlackBerry had the lower battery on it, but it charged up. It made it to 100 about 10 minutes faster than the G3. I don't know what that's about, but they both were pretty much low on battery, but this one charged faster and it actually lasts longer. So that round goes to the BlackBerry Passport. Now again, I didn't go into a bunch of different features and things on both, but as I said, these are the things that stand out to me. For day-to-day use, these stand out to me. Just looking at both of these pictures on the desktop, I actually took this picture and put it on both devices, and this is what you see. You can see all of the picture over here, and you have to scroll to see this picture. That's not a bad thing. It just highlights how a square display could be really good. Anyway, battery goes to the BlackBerry Passport. So let's recap. Screen and body were G3. Sound was BlackBerry Passport. Cameras, G3. Web browser and processor was the Passport. Call quality, I called it a tie. And features and battery went to the Passport. So what is that? You do the math. I will see you guys in the next video. This was a great matchup here. I really like both of these devices. I use them every day. It looks like the Passport might have edged that one out. You can count them up. I'm not really so much concerned with that. I just think that both of these are fantastic devices. And I will see you guys in the next video. Get ready to check out my new outro, fellas and ladies. I've never done an outro before, but here it is right now. Alright guys, I appreciate you joining me in another video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.